Ji Ayanu to our fourth podcast. You are here with me, Dance with MVR, Mandeep Kaur, and
me, Jasneet Kaur.
So today's podcast, we are talking about my Ladies Sangeet Suhaag book, and we're going to sing some Boliyan from this book as per your guys' request. Jasneet has the most beautiful voice, as you may have heard from previous podcasts. So it's really important to know for you where did it all start? Like, where's your passion come from when it comes to Boliyan?
And do you know, I feel like my path's like a little bit different to yours, because I feel like ever since I was younger, I've always had this singing in the shower, singing in the house, singing all the frigging time. And it's just been like a passion of singing. Yeah. And then I think mixed with me getting exposed to like dancing, and then meeting you guys, and then starting to go to lots and lots of weddings, and like having the musical instruments in the background and singing and all of that stuff. I think for me, the passions kind of come from I quite like doing this, and I like challenging myself with learning stuff. Yeah. So then it's kind of come from that, and like I feel like I've learned Punjab, like a bit of like older Punjabi that I wouldn't have had exposure to had I have not tried to get into Boliyan.
To be honest, I wanted to create this book just for my sister-in-law's wedding and for a few close friends and family, and it then sort of hit me that there's so many people, and you'll probably fall into this as well, where you want to hold on to the culture and you want to carry it forward, and that obviously is something that I want to do, but you realize actually if we don't learn this stuff, our future generation, when it comes to our kids, we're literally going to be sticking on like our iPhones, Spotify, iTunes, and there's not going to be that real kind of interactive, collaborative kind of singing together. And that's what like Ladies Sangeets are about. It's about bringing people together and about singing the Boliyan and things like that.
And that's not to say that, like, for me, I haven't studied all of the Boliyan. I don't know everything off by heart. Like you'll see me sometimes, I'll literally be like, okay, yes, and I'm gonna pretend like I know the rest of the words and sing them along, but like that's fine. Like there's no set rule of there's no exclusive club of you have to know all of the words and you have to know how to pronounce everything correctly and do whatever. Like the naysayers can say whatever, absolutely, but you've got to have that love there.
Do you not feel, Jas, as well, with sometimes it can be off-putting when if you do pronounce something incorrectly and somebody calls you out on it, and it kind of makes you step back a little bit? And I've had it done to me so many times, but I laugh along with it. Like, born and bred in Britain, I'm trying. that's my answer. I'm trying. And
I challenge somebody, one Punjabi kid in the comments who grew up here. I challenge one person to tell me that their pronunciation hasn't been mocked. Like, I'm gonna put myself on the limb here and say I don't think that I'll find one. Like, I don't know. I think it's just a cultural thing. Like, no one means it. Well, I hope they don't mean it in a bad way. It's just like, you've pronounced it wrong. And I'm sure, like,
it's like, gotta see me, gotta see. Like the slightest, it'll be the slightest, way we kind of talk and the way you pronounce things. Yeah. And I get it. Obviously, we want to pronounce it right, but there's a way of telling people. Yeah. And I think sometimes they come in it from a mocking point of view. And it's like, they knew me but that much good.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'll hear something and I'll be dying to just be like, you just say it like a little bit different and it sounds spot on. Yeah. But then again, there's a time and a place and a way to deliver that, like to help people.
I'm very fortunate as well. Like on my journey in making this book, I've had help from a few of my family members. Your mum's been really helpful in helping me translate Boliyan, because Punjabi is such a vast language, and with English it's very simple. With Punjabi you've got like 5 words to one English word, so sometimes it's working out the meaning and the context behind things. So I've done my best in trying to translate a lot of the Boliyan in this book, and I think that is where really people are able to kind of connect with Boliyan.
Yeah.
And it was only like sort of recently that even my sister-in-law, when I was explaining some of the Suhaag and the meanings behind it,
yeah,
she was like, "Oh my God, that's beautiful!" Like,
no wonder they're tearjerkers.
Exactly.
Like as soon as it starts,
beautiful.
The older generation, you can see it like resonate and just be like, oh, it hits hard, and the tears.
I was like, Suhaag back in the day. Do you remember? We used to walk into a room and the women in the corner would be
whiny.
And that's why people were like, why do I need to learn this sort of thing?
And I get it. Like they were trying to, I don't know,
their emotions, maybe.
Get the emotions out of it.
But
बैठ किसी कट रहिया बारो आया राजे दा बेटा तू क्यों बीबी रो रहिया बाबुल मेरे काजर छाया मैं परदेसन हो रहिया मैं परदेसन हो रहिया.
Oh, ready for the translation?
Right.
A small needle with a thread sitting, I am sewing. From the outside, the king's son asks, "Why are you crying?" My father has fixed my marriage and I'm going to be a foreigner. And the thing is, in English, it doesn't hit you as much.
No, I'm not going to lie.
In Punjabi, main pardesan ho rahiya. Just need a moment.
Yeah.
And that will, if you connect with the words and you're able to understand it, that's when you're able to carry something forward. And that is our little koshish in trying to do that.
I think even if something sounds as simple as if it sounds pleasant, people are going to want to listen. People are going to enjoy it and be like, "Oh, that sounds nice." Like, I wonder what they're saying. But if it's it's not a catchy tune for us lot around here these days.
Right. So we're going to move on to singing 5 Boliyan, randomly selected, just so you guys have the opportunity to kind of know some of the tunes and how to sing some of these Boliyan. It's quite important. Obviously, you know, I would have loved to have done an audio with this book, but it's very time consuming and I don't really have the resources for it. So we're going to try and do it this way, and you know, hopefully this will kind of give you guys at least 5 Boliyan that you'll be able to try and practice and sing with.
It's all good having the lyrics, but you've almost got to have the lyrics and the tune at the same time to then have the confidence to like bust it out at the next wedding.
Absolutely. I love the Masi Mamiya Boliyan. Like, these are Gidda Boliyan, by the way. Nice, short, easy, quick. We'll go with Mami Kudi Te Sir Fulkari, and that's on page 79.
79.
Join in. Mami Kudi Te Sir Fulkari.
Mami kudi te sir fulkari
Gagra supata paya.
Gagra
supata.
Gagra supata paya.
Ni mami nakhro ne sara pind nachaaya.
Ni mami nakhro ne sara pind.
Mami kudi te sir fulkari. Rana nahi nikliya, rana chahida. Mami kudi te sir fulkari Gagra supata paya. Ni mami nakhro ne sara pind nachaaya. Ni mami nakhro ne sara pind nachaaya. Translation for that Bolli: my mummy has her Punjabi threaded dupatta fulkari on her head, and a beautiful skirt on with a little attitude, but she got the whole village dancing. Now that's a mummy I want to know. What's your pick?
Let's hope I do not mess up the pronunciation. Kada vajda karoli vajdi. Kada vajda karoli vajdi. Kitte kaggar vajdi sun mundiya. Kitte kaggar vajdi sun mundiya. Sas laddi sora ladda. Sas laddi sora ladda. Kitte mainu vi laddi sun mundiya. Kitte mainu vi laddi sun mundiya. Kitte mainu vi laddi sun mundiya. Nice short one as well. Can you see the two paragraphs.
Bala,
Ammo samne, no sas da mukabla. Wo samne, no sas da mukabla.
What are you trying to get us at?
I don't know. I'm giving it large and I need to be like,
right, listen, don't take my role. Okay.
I've got to chill my pants. No sas da mukabla. Ammo samne, no sas da mukabla. Ammo samne.
ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਸਾਡਾ ਆਗਰਾ
ਆਮੋ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਸਾਡਾ ਆਗਰਾ ਆਮੋ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ
ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਵਾਰੀ ਬਰਸੀ ਖਟਣ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ ਵਾਰੀ ਬਰਸੀ ਖਟਣ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ ਖਟ ਕੇ ਲਿਆਂਦਾ ਪਾਨ ਦਾ ਪੱਤਾ ਨੀ ਮੈਂ ਜੇਠ ਕੁੱਟਣਾ ਲੈਣਾ ਵਾਰੀ ਦਾ ਵੱਟਾ ਨੀ ਮੈਂ ਜੇਠ ਕੁੱਟਣਾ ਲੈਣਾ That was page 101, Jade Boliyan.
She got carried away there, she did. Went solo.
Translation, he went to fetch an object, brought back a better leaf, and I want to beat him up, and I want to get my revenge on him. But these Boliyan, I mean, quite harsh about beating up your Jade and getting beat up and this, that, the other. And Gidda Boliyan and Boliyan were the only way for women to express themselves. And that's why, in one sense, it's important for us to carry this kind of like tradition through, not because we want to beat up our Jade, but it's just like, it's almost poetic now, like reflecting back upon kind of their hardships and how they kind of escaped it almost.
I think there's the counter side of every argument, and it's the, oh, you know, times have moved on, things aren't the same and stuff like that. But it's nice to have, like, how else are we going to be learning words that are in here?
Yeah.
And like getting a chance to just sing along and like having a laugh with your family. And it's actually, is it called intergenerational? Cross-generational? I don't know, but it allows your generation to then find some similarities with the other generation and have like a little bonding moment and a little laugh there. Bole ni pambiha bole. Bole ni pambiha bole, shava ni pambiha bole, bole. Bole ni pambiha bole,
shava ni pambiha bole,
bole ni pambiha bole,
shava ni pambiha bole,
सिखर दोपहरे अंदर तेरा पतंदर नी पम्बिहा बोले, shava ni pambiha bole, bole ni pambiha bole. In the evenings, inside and outside, sings the Jacobin cuckoo bird, Bumbiha. I know you've obviously roughly picked up your passions and stuff about it, but how did you actually get into it?
Well, you know, on the first couple of pages, it tells you. So my bua was a massive part of why I got into Boliyan. So having a lot of weddings growing up, she would be at the front and she'd be like, Chal mandi pa mere naal, and she'd literally be like, come on, drag me along, and I'd be like, Shaba, like literally as a kid. And I think just listening to her really made me like want to get into it, and it used to excite me. And I think seeing the women go wild, go from 0 to 100 and just go wild, they do, and seeing how much enjoyment on their faces, and I was like, I want to be a part of this. And that really made me want to learn and kind of get like carry that through, and then learning more about Gidda Boliyan. And I just think, like you said, it connects you to the language. It connects you to the language. You're exposed to so many different versions of Punjabi as well, because they're from different like dialects and different areas. And then when it came to obviously planning you know, my sister Anisha's kind of Ladies Sangeet, that's when I was like, I don't want this Ladies Sangeet to be fragmented, where it's just that older women sitting there and the younger ones are just off doing their own thing, because that's generally what happens these days. I want everyone to be included. I want to make it inclusive. I want people to learn and be able to enjoy it, and that's where this kind of was born. And it wasn't it great? Ladies Sangeet, everyone was sat together and we translated a few Boliyan. Exactly, there was young, older, little kids, and it was just such a lovely vibe to have that like moment with all the ladies, and it was a proper Ladies Sangeet, which is rare to come by these days. So I was very proud of that. And then obviously off the back of that, just kind of putting this up on Instagram, it came to my attention that, wow, people actually do want to hold on to their culture, and people do want to learn. And that actually made me feel really happy, because I was like, yes, let's
your
keep
input
it going.
into like this is what I'm doing to try it.
And you know, there is going to be another book coming out. I am working on it, and it'll be, because a lot of people have asked me about Suhaag and Boliyan, what to sing during the Vatna, the Maya ceremony.
Oh, that's a good one, actually.
Yeah, and Ukoriya for boys' weddings as well. And the thing is, it's a lengthy process because I want to make sure I get, you know, the right kind of Boliyan, the right songs, but also the right translations. And then it's putting it all together and producing one of these. So hopefully for next summer, that should be ready. But we're going to finish off with one final Bolli. And we'll finish off with the last one, actually, which is Taye, Taye, Taye. Oh, actually, it's well, it's one of the last ones that they tend to sing on page 121. And the translation for this is, wherever we go, we rip the ground apart. Ooh. Friends, wherever we go. And it's, the tune is Taye, 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 Tati Patsutiye, Asi Mel na Jaye, Tati Patsutiye. Taye, 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 Tati Patsutiye, Asi Mel na Jaye, Tati Patsutiye, Asi Mel na Jaye, Tati Patsutiye, Asi Mel na Jaye, Tati Patsutiye.
Do you know when you've got a song and you barely know the lyrics and you're like, oh, come, yes. And you get the last words of everything else, like Bolli, Shala.
That's how I started. That's it. That's all we've got time for today. Thanks for joining us. We would love to get your feedback on this podcast and also some thoughts on future podcasts and what you guys want to listen to, what you guys want to learn, what you guys want to hear us talking about.
Even favourite Boliyan.
Yes.
Let's hear some. Exactly. There's so many out there. Might be ones that we've not even covered.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us, guys. And that's us for today.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.